ASP.NET Core identity together with the provided API endpoints. This is the Microsoft's way to help you out to set up the user management and authentication in your .NET web application. You don't have to worry about setting up your own logic to log in, to register, to reset the password and so on and so forth, but you can use already built-in endpoints to serve that purpose, so you don't have to spend days of figuring out how to set up everything from the scratch. My name is Remik, and in today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to set up everything in just a couple of minutes. If you haven't subscribed my channel yet, I highly recommend to smash the subscribe button down below, to give me a like, to write a comment, and to subscribe to my weekly .NET newsletter where I share the knowledge every Saturday. Now let's get started. Alright guys, so as you can see on the screen, I have created .NET Web API. So now in the program CS file, I have this sample code of the weather forecast that for sure you already know. So at first, in order to set up the identity in this project, we need to little bit clean up this program CS file. So I'll remove this weather forecast record, as well this endpoint, and those summaries, those comments as well. And now we need to install a couple of the Nugget packages. So we'll go into the Manage Nugget Packages section. And in the Browse tab, we need to type. The first one will be the Scalar.ASP.NET Core. So we'll use this package in order to see our endpoints in the UI view. So we'll use this one and set up in our project. And now 3 of those will be related to the Entity Framework Core and the identity. So the first one will be Entity Framework Core .tools. We'll use this version because I'm using .NET 10. We need as well Entity Framework Core .identity. So Microsoft ASP.NET Core Identity Entity Framework Core. In this project, we'll use the SQLite together with EF Core. So I need this Nugget package, Microsoft Entity Framework Core .SQLite. Now, since we'll use the SQLite and EF Core, we need to set up the DB connection string that will serve for us the configuration value to connect to the database. So now in the app settings JSON file, I will add the section called connection strings, and inside of it, we'll type identity API example DB. And for the SQLite, we'll use the following value, data source equal to the identity API example db.db. And now I will create the application DB context to use the Entity Framework Core in this project. So now I will create a new class called application DB context. And in here, we have to inherit from identity DB context of the type identity user. And I will create a constructor and pass as the parameter DB context options of the type my application DB context options, and then base constructor options. And now we have to register the application DB context in the program CS file. So now below the add open API, we'll use builder services add DB context, application DB context, we'll pass the options and then options dot use SQLite and then builder configuration get connection string and our previously created connection string at this value, and we need to point to the value of this key. So identity API example DB, we need to fetch from the app settings JSON file. Now we'll set up the identity. So I'll type builder dot services add identity core and we'll pass identity user, then add entity framework stores of the type application DB context, and then at the end add API endpoints. The next step is to set up the authentication and authorization, so we'll use the bearer scheme. For that, to use the bearer tokens. So builder services add authentication, add bearer token, identity constants, bearer scheme, and then builder services add authorization. Since we are using the Scalar UI to check out our endpoints, we need to set up the Scalar as well. So over there, under the map open API, I will write app map Scalar API reference. And after using this line, we are able to access the Scalar by writing /Scalar in our browser. So now we need to set up as well under the use HTTPS redirection app, use authentication, app, use authorization. And down below, I will create the one endpoint that will return for us the claims of already authenticated user. So it will look as follows. So map get claims, and from the HTTP context, we'll receive the claims of the user and we'll write it down to the response. And then require authorization means that this endpoint is protected and you have to be authenticated in order to get the results from this endpoint. And now we need to create the database migration and then apply it so it will create for us the SQLite database. So now in the developer PowerShell, down below in the Visual Studio, I will type .NET EF migrations add initial DB migration -- project, and I will point to the identity demo. And over there, it created for us the separate directory called migrations, and inside of it, we have the initial DB migration. So as you can see, here we have all the database tables that are provided by the identity itself. So we have the ASP.NET roles, users, we have a bunch of other database tables as well. So it's provided by setting up the identity in our project. And now in order to access those endpoints that I have set in the introduction, so to use the login, register, forgot password, and so on, you have to write app map identity API, and you have to pass the identity user as the type. And now we can apply this migration to create the brand new database based on this DB generated migration. And now in order to create the database based on the migration, you have to type .NET EF database update -- project and then identity demo. And on the left-hand side, we see the Identity API example db.db SQLite database created after applying this migration. And now, since we have everything already in place, I will start the API and we can check the endpoints that are provided by the identity. So I will run the application. On the left-hand side, we can see our custom created endpoint to get the claims. So I will send the test request. And as you can see, we are getting 401 unauthorized response. So now, based on those endpoints, we can create the user. So we'll register the user and then we'll log in with the credentials. We'll get the bearer token and then we'll pass it as the request header to get 200 OK response from this claims endpoint. So as you can see, we have a lot of endpoints provided. So we haven't written anything. It's provided out of the box. So now in the register endpoint, we have here the request body. So I'll type the following email and the password. I will copy this request body and I will send it. We've received 200 OK response, so it means that our user was created. And now we can use the login endpoint and we can get rid of those two fields and only pass the email and the password. And now when I will send the request, you can see that we have received the bearer token, so the access token and the refresh token, and when it will expire. So I will copy the value of this token. And now going to the claims endpoint once again. In the headers, we have to type authorization, then bearer and the value of the access token. And we have received now 200 OK response. And on the right hand side, we can see the claims of the user. So we have the name identifier, so the ID of the user. Then we can see the name and the email address. Then security stamp. And this last claim was included as well. So as you can see, it's very easy to use the identity API endpoints. So we don't have to spend days on writing everything from the scratch. We can use already built-in endpoints and handle the user management very easily. Now I will open up the database to show you that our user was created. I have opened up the SQLite database. We can see the database tables and we'll open up the ASP.NET users table. So you can see the following user. So remigiusz@email.com was created, and as well we have the password hash instead of the plain text password. So by default, it hashes as well the password, so you don't have to worry about that. Alright guys, so this is the end of this tutorial. In the part 2 of this video, I'm gonna show you how to customize the Identity API endpoints to provide your own logic, to have your own requests instead of the built-in ones. So how to customize it a bit to adjust to your needs. If you haven't subscribed my channel yet, I highly recommend to smash the subscribe button down below, to give me a like, to write a comment, and to subscribe to my weekly .NET newsletter, where I share the knowledge every Saturday, and see you in the next tutorial.